In 2009, 2007 onwards, in fact, we were already working in these various areas. And if you notice, these are the key focus areas which the Bureau identified to really work upon. Agriculture pumping, domestic consumption, and the like. For each of these, the Bureau has a scheme. For example, for commercial buildings, we have the star rating program. For municipalities, we again have a program to promote demand side efficiency. For industry, we have a program on the perform, achieve and trade. Domestic, till then, we didn't have really anything except, and that's again a very major program, the 5-star labeling program. But that's more on appliances and less on domestic, I would say. Then we have the agriculture pumping initiative. So what we understood is that if you really look into it, all of them focus on commercial intent, except the domestic sector. So we said, let's try and attempt applying carbon finance to it. But the moment we started exploring, this was in the year 2007, try and access carbon finance to promote energy efficiency initiative in the domestic sector, we realized there's a huge barrier. The barrier is, if a government can be bureaucratic, think about a multilateral government, the UN process. It can be even more so. So this is exactly what happens, and this is the reason why we always say the CDM carries a high transaction cost, both in terms of money and as well as time. So at that time, in 2007, this was the status. You had a time requirement of roughly around 12 to 24 months, depending on how well planned your initiative was. Cost was at least 30 lakhs, and you required a fair degree of knowledgeable manpower. That's the reason why, one of the reasons is why there's a huge, I would say, demand for consultancy on the subject, because it's not something that you can do in-house. In the case of program of activities, which is the concept which we are tackling with, we are talking about scaling up. If this is the kind of cost and the time which is required for a standalone activity, would it be multiplied when we scale up? So these were the various queries which immediately, you can say, blocked us at that given point of time, and still we ventured because we really wanted to understand what will really happen. So with this, I'd like to share with you the scheme which is called the Bachat Lamp Yojana, how it has been evolved, what is the overall basic framework, looking ahead into terms of what is the kind of benefits which we plan to envisage using the scheme, and then, as Bhushan has already pointed out, what are the kind of things we would like to see even further. Basically, we're trying to build on the best practices which we feel we have in this given program and trying to take it forward. The key driver for the entire initiative was to focus on energy efficiency in the domestic sector and touch on something which is as basic as a lamp. We are not talking about a high-end appliance here, we are talking about a basic necessity which is a lamp. And incandescent lamps, the kinds which is portrayed here, lose nearly 95% of their energy input in the form of heat. Only 5% ends up as light. So this is exactly what we are trying to target. How do we replace this something more energy efficient with a CFL, and there you are able to reduce the energy consumption and still have a fair amount of illumination available.